You're now listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth Podcast.
Step into the mind of a samurai soldier. Step into the mind when it's all swipes. Step into the mind when the eyes focus. And then you start to notice. Listen.
Always caught up in some JOBS, fucking up my day because I gotta go and see stress. 7 hours of $50 of freedom really isn't cutting it. Got shit to cop, if I'm not, then it's problem sin. It's grave shit, feeling like a standstill slave shit. Wanna leave, but that's where my life lives. Because without it, I stay running in place. If I didn't, I'd probably run up with a mask on my face. I love money, one collected off in interest. Not sweating miles for it just to gain some inches. Visions of my goals of my career, I can feel it very near, so it's crystal clear, worldwide, forever chilling in your ear.
What up? Welcome to another episode of Straight from the Horse's Mouth Podcast. I am 1/3 of your host. You can call me Black. As always, I'm never riding alone. I got my fellas, my crew, my posse, whatever you want to call them with me. To my right, I got Sean P.
Present.
To my left, I got Lean.
What up?
And as the tagline says, we just three dudes sitting on the couch talking hip-hop, sports, and life. If you would like to be a part of that conversation, please hit us up on our social media platforms. On Facebook, you can hit us up at Horsemouth. That's right, I said Horsemouth on Facebook. On Instagram and Twitter, you can hit us up at SFTHM Podcast. That's SFTHM Podcast. You can also hit us up by Gmail, that SFTHM podcast at gmail.com. That's SFTHM podcast at gmail.com.
You can send us a letter.
You can, you can send us a carrier pigeon, whatever you want.
And I can't wait till we get video, because you just see Tony doing this introduction, man. He's like a rhythm and blues singer out here, man.
Well, thank you very much.
He's doing his hand motions, eyes closed. Get it. Go ahead.
Got a brother sound like Al Green. All right. Gentlemen, what we drinking on?
That Hudson Manhattan rye whiskey. Yes. Hudson.
They get a thumbs up.
Yeah, man. Man.
That's
my when the first shot, it was like we had three. I felt like I had three distinct tastes. It was like smooth with like no bite, and then it went to like a smoky thing, and then it went to like a spice, kind of like a spicy. You could taste the spice or whatever. So it was three different tastes, and then it was very clean. You know, so I would see myself drinking this with like a splash of ginger ale, just to
ginger, not ginger ale,
ginger ale.
Ginger ale.
Yeah, so I would have a little splash of ginger ale, and I think that would just make this just right. So,
that's right. How many shots you give it, bro?
We're gonna go ahead and give it 3.2. We're gonna give it 3.2.
3.2 out of 5 shots. That's what's up.
The price point, I believe, was $34 or $40, something like that.
That's what's up, P.
So yeah, I don't know. For that, we want you to be a little smoother. But okay, yes, my bad, man. But
that's probably like the lowest score P gave a whiskey.
Hey, man, I told you this is a brand new me this year, man.
I was gonna say,
P's palate is getting refined.
Real rating started January.
Yeah.
That was a practice round.
He was just happy to be great.
I was like, well, shit, are we giving 5 points? All right, 4.9. I'll give this one 4.9.
That nigga P was just happy to be drinking. That's all.
Man. I was trying to get a sponsor, but since y'all ain't, I'm going to give y'all the real now. Doggone, we ain't getting no sponsors, and I was being nice. I'm going to tell you.
Brother Lean.
Yeah, I felt same kind of taste as P. Real smooth, then the smoky, then a little spice. Then at the end, like smoky stayed for a second, but the thing I liked about it, then it just went away.
Yeah, dissipate.
So it didn't have any type of aftertaste or after in your mouth. So to me, it was real smooth. This is the whiskey I was telling y'all before. I'm definitely gonna buy this for the stash. I gotta have that. But this is a whiskey that I probably would take shots with, but it probably would be like every now and then.
Right.
Like I'd keep that, and every now and then I'm like, let me just go ahead and take a take a shot at the Manhattan. So I would give it probably, I would give it a 3.7.
3.7.
I give it a 3.7 shot glass.
3.7. That's a lot for lean. I think because it's dynamic and it does just more than one thing.
Yeah, it really does have more.
I mean, you got to show your value with lean. You got to do multiple
right
things.
now, my mouth is clean. I feel refreshed.
Right.
Like it's a real good whiskey.
That's
to
what's
me.
up.
Like
That's
I
what's
really
up.
like it. So yeah,
That's what's up. I'm gonna give this joint I like the smoky taste. I like the bite that you initially have. I'm not a big fan of the aftertaste of spices. That's just not my thing. It just, I mean, maybe because we're past the holiday season or whatever. Well, the fuck, that's just not my thing. But I also like how it goes down. Right? It goes down smooth after all that, and as Liam said, the little aftertaste that you get, the little spicy aftertaste, it dissipates. So I'm gonna give it a 3.2.
Okay.
3.2 shot glasses.
Okay. Yeah.
So once again, folks, go ahead.
I just want to say also, like, what was I gonna say? Because I was gonna say, yeah, I guess the spice thing, it wasn't like a lot of spices. It wasn't overwhelming spice like Captain Morgan or something like that. That's overwhelming spice.
It's not rum.
Yeah, it was like, I feel like it was just like a subtle spice.
and then you feel like now I don't feel like I've had any shots, and I
Right,
feel
right.
And sometimes stuff stays with you.
Right.
This one you can do this, and then you can have a meal and not have the taste of anything else
Right.
in your mouth. So that's why I like it.
One question I want to ask y'all, because I was anticipating a taste. I guess it did have some sweet, but just because it wasn't like our Kentucky bourbon, because it was Manhattan rye whiskey, I was thinking it was going to be like something really, really sweet and more of a bite, which I wouldn't like. So what were y'all thinking when you
I was
saw
anticipating burning.
Yeah.
Seriously, like that burning feeling when you first take the whiskey. Yeah, I was anticipating.
Like you got to have a chaser with it.
Yeah.
You know what? I go into every whiskey tasting with a fresh mind. Like I don't even like it is what it is.
One thing I ain't gonna ever do is have whiskey on the rocks. That's what we don't do that
I
here.
Like I love the bottle when I
saw it. The bottle nice. The bottle
and
nice.
it has a nice cork.
Sometimes I will try a whiskey based on how the bottle looks, and then sometimes you get shocked and be like, "Wow, that was really good. I'm glad I got it because it caught your eye." So it looks like it's a shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll catch your eye.
Sophisticated.
Yeah. And that cork, that adds a new. Most of you got the twister. That's like a straight up cork.
I might have broke it though. Like I might have broke the twister part. For real. I think the cork was on that.
Regardless, it turned out really well.
It looked nice. Yeah, we're gonna send you a picture, Manhattan, which y'all could do.
So that's our whiskey of the month. That's Hudson Manhattan whiskey. That's what we drinking on. And if you have good drink, you got to have good music. Lean, why don't you give us a little taste of what we was listening to? What was it that we were listening to, bro?
Oh man, that was the 3 Shades of Brown. It's an EP.
That sound like us.
Exactly. It came out in 2011.
That's our new name.
3 Shades of Brown.
It was by Late Bloomers. That's the name of the group. I don't have. This is a song I just discovered. Pretty recent. It's funny because I was just digging through my collection, just listening to joints for the show. And this is a joint I didn't even know I had. And when I heard it, I'm like, yo, that's dope. So let me go ahead and put it. So once again, it's off the EP, 3 Shades of Brown, 2011, Late Bloomers. Check it out, man, and download the EP.
Definitely download that. 3 Shades of Brown. I'm liking that. So this week, gentlemen, has been an interesting week for me. So actually, the past 3 weeks, I started off with a cold.
Okay.
I sprained my ankle last week.
Okay.
And now I've been coughing so much that I'm just getting my voice back. Luckily, I'm just getting my voice back for the show. I don't know if, Lee, when I spoke to you the other day, I was sounding like that nigga. I don't know if you ever watched The Wire. I was sounding like that nigga Slim Charles over the phone.
Hey, P. He sounded like his lungs was. I was like, Like, you sure you don't want to call me back?
Right. Please. I don't want to have to
Just
figure this
text
out.
me.
Yeah.
Just text me.
It's difficult.
I'm like, Iron Man is starting to lose his rust. I mean, starting to get rust. So here's the reason why my voice sounded that way and why I've been coughing so much. I thought something was going on with me. I was terrified. I was like, oh, shit. I don't want to leave Marcy by herself. You know, the worst. I was thinking the worst. I go to the doctor, and the coughing is a result of one of the good things I've done. And one of the good things I've done, it's been 9 months since I've stopped smoking cigarettes. 9 months. And the doctor said one of the things that happened during the 9 months when you quit smoking is that these little hairs in your lungs start to grow back. These hairs are responsible for moving away toxins and stuff like that. And as they start to grow back, they're removing. My goodness, the whiskey got me. They're removing the last bit of remnants of like
so
cigarettes.
You shouldn't have quit.
No. I should have quit. They're removing the last bit of stuff that's left over from smoking. So that's how my week been. I'm happy at the fact that my body is healing from me quitting smoking. That just gives me more
From
encouragement.
the inside out.
From the inside out.
That ankle fix.
Yeah. But also I noticed that, and he pointed this out to me. He was like, when you first came here, the tips of your fingers were dark and stuff like that. And that's because I wasn't getting that much circulation and all the smoke I would smoke. You know, I mean, all the cigarette smoke and stuff.
Smoking those cigarettes that you find in the gas station on the ground.
No bullshit. I mean, I was a fiend. And so everything.
I was playing.
Yeah, nah, nigga, you ain't far off.
So, I mean, that's a good cigarette right there.
No bullshit. Marcy covered this month with a TV. Marcy, I smoked the TV. Fuck you saying? With legs. I smoked them. You know what I'm saying? I was a straight crackhead when it came to cigarettes, so.
I'm glad that's not a habit that I ever picked up.
Yeah?
I used to hate, my mom used to smoke when I was growing up, right?
Uh-huh.
And we used to hate it. We always be like, but she used to just smoke in her room. So we used to complain, and she'd be like, get the hell out there.
Right. 100%.
But she used to send me to the store. I never forget, we go to the store, Winston 100.
Yes.
And back in the day,
Yes.
you was 10
Winston
years old.
100.
You were right in the
Go
store and
ahead.
get it.
Winston 100, man.
My dad used to get Salem Ultralights regular, and my mom used to get the True Menthol. So they used to go to the store and they get the same thing, every time. And I used to go in there and get it or whatever. But I remember with my dad, I remember wanting to go to a basketball game with him. So we get to the basketball game. It's cold as hell, man. And he started smoking, man. So I rolled my window down. He's like, roll that window back up. I'm like, I can't breathe. He's like, you didn't have to come. I was like, damn.
Yeah, smoking my grandfather, he smoked cools. That was his thing. And I remember we went to an all-night movie. This is back in the day at the Ontario. Anybody from D.C., old D.C., remember?
Yeah.
They used to show movies 24 hours at the all-night movie. And my grandfather would smoke cigarettes. That's when you could smoke cigarettes in the movie theater. And I would never forget he used to make me go to the store to pick him up some cools.
The day that they changed the law that people couldn't smoke in like bars and restaurants, man, I jumped for joy because I couldn't stand
pissed.
coming home,
Yeah.
and it would take days. Like I would get sick. I would have to come home. You gotta take a shower to get it off your skin, to get it off your
clothes,
hair,
your jacket,
wash your clothes. Because I rejoiced on that.
And I'm sure you remember when I smoked. I used to smell like cigarettes all the time.
Oh yeah.
I smell like
it's some planes. If you get on some planes still today, man, they got cigarette ashtrays in them, man.
Yeah.
That makes you nervous like that. It's an
Yeah,
old
it's
ass.
old
no
ass
bullshit.
Yeah, I done seen them though.
How much miles is on this joint?
You know this?
Yeah.
That joint got ashtrays. It got a
You
Betamax
get
for the
nervous.
movie. Shit like that. All right. That's my week.
Yeah, man. Oh, I got a date.
You're 2 weeks
March-
away.
March 16th. I'm moving back in my house.
March
2 weeks.
16th.
moving
Is this
back
the
in
final
my
2
house.
weeks?
I don't care what happens.
All
I'm
right.
in there. I got heat. Our fridge is in. My
Okay.
stove will be in. we
Toilets
can
are
cook.
in.
Toilets is in. I could shower. I could, move my bowels.
Oh, God.
So I'm good with
That's
that.
all you
So,
I'm good.
So the
That's all your
16th,
necessities.
I will be back in my house, feeling
Okay.
good.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
It took a while, man. It took a while.
We moving back in almost. It's a month. It'll be a year. We moved out April 15th.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It don't seem like it.
The real,
Somebody, it seemed like it to me.
right, for me it felt like 2 years.
I feel you.
But the project it definitely took longer. But I was talking to we got a consultant that comes in. He looks at everything, and then that's how we cut the checks, right?
Right.
So I was talking about everything. He said, you know what? Your contract is slow, but he's like, but I could tell you some stories. Because I was asking him, I was like, man, this is probably one of the worst things. He was like, not even. He was like, they're slow, but for the most part, everything is good. The quality of stuff is good. But he was like, I've seen some nightmares as far as like contractors, things like that. So that made me feel a little bit better.
Because they could be doing a bad job,
Yeah.
but you see they doing a good job.
Right, so the quality is there.
Yeah.
They just slow as hell, but the quality is there. So when you see it, I'm like, okay.
That's what's up.
And now
You take their microwave, man. They're getting too comfortable.
you know what I'm saying? So
That's
that's
what's
my
up.
week.
That's what's up.
All right, so my week, man, it's I guess the highlight of my week is kind of like I found my key. So I lost my key to my car about a month
it
ago.
was a car key.
Yeah, so it was only my car key. I lost it going to this aggravating lady house. She aggravated me.
Can I just say, P always got something up with his car? It's
Yeah,
either-
man, forever. It's terrible, man. Cars are just money pits. But anyway, so I was thinking about buying a key again because I only got the one key. But I went to see the crazy lady again, and the guard lady was like, "Hey!" So she was all excited. I got your key because the day I couldn't find it, I was like looking for it for like 30 minutes, up and down North Capitol. So I'm walking looking like a crackhead for real because I'm looking on the ground on North Capitol, right in front of the housing authority, like the little building right there. You know,
my goodness.
right there with Safe Haven. It's a Safe
Yeah.
Haven's on the 7th floor.
Yeah.
Sibley Plaza.
Yeah,
across the
yeah,
street.
exactly. I'm over there in North Capitol looking for that. So anyway, the lady gave me the key, but it happened again before, like last year, where I had lost the key.
Wow.
And the dude, like a month later, had told me, "Hey, my friend, I found your key." So it's just crazy that
You only got one key?
I got 2 keys now.
Oh, you bought a key? Okay.
No, I know I had 2 keys. I lost 1 key, and I would use the spare key.
Oh.
And then, like a month later, but the person
Okay.
reconnected me with my key again.
Okay.
Which is crazy. It happened in D.C. I think that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our weeks. Why don't you tell us how your week has been? You can always, as always, hit us up on our social media platforms. You know them all. I don't have to repeat them. Gentlemen, this week, or last week, the Oscars happened. First and foremost, shout out to Regina King for winning an Oscar finally.
That's my girlfriend.
Hey, I mean, Regina King has been she's been the hood actress for the longest time. It's so good that she won that joint. So
Started that on
227.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She's come a long
Yeah.
way.
And she's
That's what
always
started
been
being my
good.
girlfriend.
She's always been authentic. And one of the things people don't know, she played on my favorite cartoon, the Boondocks. She was the voice of Riley and Huey.
Yeah. I was about to say Stewie.
But one of the you said Riley and Stewie.
I was about to say Stewie. I didn't say nothing.
One of the things that caused a stir at the Oscar was actor Billy Porter. He's the gentleman that plays in the television show, I think it's Pose. He came to the Oscars wearing a dress. And that sparked a lot of debate on social media, in person. And I just figured that this would be a good conversation that we can talk about. Some of the things that people said that, Billy Porter, it's bad for male masculinity and all that other stuff. And I just wanted to get you gentlemen's thoughts on it, your opinions on it.
I say there's plenty of things that men wear to the Grammys and Oscars that I wouldn't wear, and that's one of the things that I would include with that. Yeah, I don't think it represents male masculinity. We can't put one person and say that he represents masculinity or whatever. We can't. We got to stop doing that. We got to treat people as individuals just like other people treat people as individuals. We got to stop looping and trying to, So, and it's also trying to make you conform to what you feel is the norm. So, if this is what this man want to wear, by gosh, let him wear it. I don't have no problem with it, man. Unless they want to try to make me wear it, that's when I'm gonna have a problem with it. But as long as it's his choice and he want to wear it,
yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I thought was, who? Like,
I said who?
And then I thought, okay, if you want to make a statement and be on the news and be over social media, right?
Go.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah,
So he picked the
the
perfect
Oscars.
opportunity to do something like that.
Right.
I think his show reflected something like that too, right? I thought.
What, the show Pose?
Yeah.
I've never watched it before. Yeah, I've never really watched it before.
Well, yeah.
But for me, it's like, right, I think I got the same, like, whatever floats your boat. Like, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to wear, like, I ain't got no problem with it.
Right.
I don't even care. I didn't even watch the Oscars. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even care if that's what you want. But the funny thing is, I just wonder in the back of my mind, like, do you wear dresses all the time? Or was this just a thing to get a lot of publicity because it was the Oscars?
Well, yeah, he's an actor first, entertainer first. So
if he was, I would like to see if this is what you do normally, which would be cool too, or it was just a way to kind of get the publicity and get people to start kind of paying attention to you.
Well, I looked up Pose, and it says like an LGBTQ drama about a dance musical or whatever. So that could just kind of be a part of his.
Right, so he's probably sold tickets. Now people want to see him, which is
a
great,
show,
you know what I mean? Which is cool, which is a great thing to do, right? You use this platform to attract as much attention as possible to get it. You know what I mean? That's like if we was on, going to be on some red carpet. We might have to, we might have to walk with a bottle of whiskey and drink it right there in front of people. Like, oh, what the brothers doing? To get people to be like, let me go check them out now.
I got you.
So do you guys think there is an issue with black male masculinity and how it's often portrayed?
How's it often portrayed?
No, that's what I'm asking. I have no opinion. I mean, I haven't. This is not an opinion I'm giving.
I just don't
asking questions.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's. I feel like for me, everybody got to represent themselves, man.
Like, stop letting like it feels like with black people, every time we're out, we're representing all black people.
Right.
So if we walk around like this, you're this and black people are this. He does that, and it's like black man, like he's an individual that decided that he wanted to wear this. He can wear whatever he wants. Stop putting it on like every black man, whether you're gay, straight, whatever, to represent all black people or whatever. I hate that.
Go ahead.
What made me think about it, what about like the cases of that? Because I know for me, I guess I was thinking about like the sagging pants and all the other stuff. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing that I don't agree with that? Is that not, why won't I let other people live?
Right.
Wait, say that again?
So like you know how the fellas like at this point.
You're saying you're sick and tired of people of sagging pants.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't like
and you're
to see
asking
it. Personally, I don't like to see it.
Yeah, you're
But
asking, do I give the same?
Is that the same thing? It's like, because personally, somebody who don't want to see a man in a dress, is that the same thing? Am I passing the same prejudice onto people that I see? You understand?
I think there's a certain level of respectability politics when it comes to sagging pants. But
people can say the same thing about a dress, though.
Well, no,
sagging pants, I just think is sloppy. Like at this point,
but that's a generational
because
thing.
When I was young, my pants wasn't sagging to the extent that it was now.
And then you had on long shirts too.
Right.
So
nowadays, when I see somebody and the pants is below his butt,
the
and I'm
drawers
seeing his
supposed to be out.
drawers,
Yeah, the drawers supposed to be out.
I'm like,
now.
come on, shorty.
Yeah, that's
like,
too
that
much.
just looks crazy to me.
That's too much for me. But
You know,
to somebody who everybody else is doing that, then it ain't gonna look
no,
crazy.
for them, that's what
Right.
they're supposed to do. That's their
But
style.
that's what I'm saying. Also, we doing the same thing because, like, I feel like somebody, a man that's from the LGBT community looking at another man in a dress, it might not be as eyebrow raising as we are looking at it. Is that the same thing?
I don't think it's the same thing. I think I honestly don't think it's the same thing. I think it's that if someone chooses to wear if someone chooses to wear a dress, that's on them. Yeah, but yeah, I'm struggling to make the connection of someone sagging their pants and wearing a dress.
I just threw that in there.
So here's my opinion on it. First of all, a gentleman or a person who identifies with the LGBTQ community who wears a dress does not define my masculinity. Masculinity is an individual thing, I think. But I think it's funny that people who say that, it's weakening masculinity by Mr. Porter wearing a dress, but are okay with men hurting women. You know what I'm saying?
What's masculinity?
Yeah. That's.
You know what I mean? Does that also mean that a man can't cry?
Yeah.
What's masculinity?
Yeah.
Now,
No one gets to define. No one gets to define what your masculinity is.
Right.
And my masculinity is not threatened by a guy wearing a dress. It's just not.
Right.
My masculinity, among other things, my masculinity is not defined on what other people do. I define my masculinity. So that's just my point. And as far as the whole sagging pants thing, I just think that's people do. I think it's a youth. I
think that's a youthful thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, I definitely wore mad baggy pants. But like you said, it was a different style.
Yeah.
We wore overly big clothes. Shirts was down.
The problem.
You could tell it was sagging just because of the
problem.
The thing is now though, the pants are skin tight and sagging. Back in the day, I purposely bought my pants.
I just think we older.
Bigger. No, I'm saying it's just different now. It's like that, and I think now, being a
motherfucker, their pants don't move. Their pants don't move. It be at the same level. We used to have to pull our pants up.
But to your point, as a grown man now, I feel like as a grown man, I can't do it. It's funny. I have friends. I'm not gonna call them out on the show that pants be sagging.
Hey. This
and
one
I'm
right
like,
here.
Yo, pick your pants up,
man. Dog, come on, man. You ain't fooling nobody, dog.
Hey, this one.
I gotta call my man out, right? Because I used to always tease my man George. He's like my brother, so I'm gonna throw him under the bus. So he wears pants sagging, right? Because we was back in college, right? We was going on. I forgot what we was doing, but we had to wear we had to dress up a little bit. And he finally he had to have his pants on his waist. So he had an Arsenio Hall shape. So I started yelling.
That nigga had a triangle
Hall. Like every time we saw him, yo, we used to get on him.
Man,
I don't think he ever wore his pants
on. Then he had the high top joint too.
Yo.
That's hilarious.
The only problem
Shout out George.
I think people should be able to do what they want to do. I think I don't know how we got into saggy pants, but I'll finish it up like this. I'm not big on respectability politics. I think if a person won't wear their pants saggy, you still treat them with the same respect that you would treat someone in a tuxedo or a suit. I think oftentimes people use the way how people look as a means to oppress them and to discriminate against them and to justify violence against them.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
Yeah.
But I think we all treat people based on how they look. Like, you're going to treat somebody that look 70 different than somebody that look 20.
I think we should. You're right. And I think we should get away from that because whenever people come to me and say, well, this person should get treated a certain way, because if they don't want to get treated a certain way, maybe they need to pull up their pants. And I tell them, like, look, they shot Martin Luther King in a suit. He was the most respectable nigga that we ever had, and they still killed him. So
I don't know. You know what? But and I know we got some topics we want to touch on.
Yeah.
I think this is an important one now that we're talking about it.
yeah, let's do
I think
it.
when I see young guys doing it, and I want to say something to them, and it's because I'm fearful for them. Like, as a grown man, I know what could happen.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I know that
Right.
they could be the coolest kids. They can go to the private schools and all
they
that.
got the
But
uniform
but
on of a thug.
right, and so it's
a white
more
man's
like,
eye.
yo, I do not want nothing to happen to
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? So I feel like in that way, like I
get it.
walk down the street, I'm never nervous around like anybody. So I can see a bunch of kids. I know what it is because that was me.
Exactly.
But I'm just like, man, if the police see these boys, they gonna
I'm
think
the same
something
way.
different. And it's like I feel like I wanna protect them and drop a jewel on them just because I know what
I get
could
that, too.
Also
possibly
know that,
happen.
but they 17, and 17 you invincible.
Right,
So you
right.
can't,
So
like-
so I don't say anything,
Right,
but I'm
right,
just
right.
like I hope like you can. And sometimes you can hear the conversation, but like yo, they talk about comic books.
Right.
They
Right.
talk about the Avengers.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
you like, but you
But
know
you
that
see 'em
what
passing
other
by.
people is gonna think about them, and like that, like it's almost like I feel like they. Like I feel nervous for them.
Because you in DC, so they probably got dreads or some kind of longer hairstyle. So yeah, man, that's
and
all
I
it
hate that
is.
we have to be like that or have to think like that. Like
Right.
well, I hope get home safe, young brother.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Because you see a young kid from Gonzaga with long hair, you ain't thinking, man, I wonder if he's gonna get home okay.
You don't
know he
think
gonna be
You don't think
fine.
that
Like,
at all.
oh,
You
he's
see them
probably-
with saggy pants, and you don't think
He
nothing.
probably, he probably get high.
I've been in situations where I've had the exact same uniform as a white guy. Meaning, if you see white guy, you be in Columbia Heights at the mall over there. You got your running pants on. They got their running pants on. You got a hoodie. They got a hoodie. You got
That's what's up.
the same exact uniform, except that you're looked at different, and you can tell. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy.
And I get that part too. I'm not gonna. I worry about the young people, but I can't really tell them how to dress because young people experiment. I'm more concerned about changing the system that judges those kids. I'm more about changing the way police, if that makes sense. Kids are going to be kids. Kids are going to experiment with the way they dress from the time my son is born all the way until the time he has children. That's just a given.
They're gonna experiment with how aggressive they are as well when they're out in public.
Yeah, I mean that's what kids do. I mean, kids talk back, they push boundaries, they do all that.
All that.
I'm more concerned with the system that thinks that it's okay, that justifies a normal kid behavior, that justifies killing them because of a normal kid behavior. I will say what I can to young people, but I'm more about I hate to say this on the radio, but I go out and I protest and stuff like that because I'm more concerned about.
Why you hate to say that on the radio?
Well, I guess I'm not hating to say it, but I don't want people to always know it and stuff like that. But I go out and protest because I'm more concerned about a system that. I mean, as I said, I really, really can't hate. I really, really hate respectability politics. I'm not concerned about what my kid has on or what kids have on. I'm more concerned about, how people treat them. They should be treated a certain way regardless of what they have on.
No, I get that. But
I'm more concerned about changing that system as
but
opposed to changing how children are.
But the point is, and it ain't really because I don't walk around saying pull your pants up, right?
No, of course not.
Is, like,
Cause
the system is a system, so I think you gotta if I had a son, and he was a certain age, because the system is what it is right now, I have to make sure that he can make it home safe.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So I know that even if I went out and I protest
I'm
tomorrow,
not stupid. I give him the tools.
But I'm saying the system is going to be the system for right now. So I have to make sure that you know what it's going to take to get you home.
Even if it tells you, like, hey, listen, you can sag at school, but listen, when you go home, I just need you, especially on this street, because the cops is always down there arresting fellas. Please don't be sagging down there, or even don't go down that street.
I just have a problem with. I mean, because you said it already, there are certain kids that are able to sag and won't get in trouble. Why can't my kid? So I'm fighting that system. My kid is going. My kid needs
that
to.
system been
Yeah.
you talking about you fighting it? How? I mean, I'm not saying like how, but I'm just saying like that system being fought by the masses for a long time. I'm not saying don't try to fight the system.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it's best to try to arm your kids so that.
Well, I mean, I think you can do both. I think you can talk. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm going to have a talk with my kid about, making sure you're all right. But most of my energy is going to be going to try to change the way police.
That's been, man,
yeah. And how to change implicit bias. I mean, because my kid has his pants, if he decides to have his pants sagging, doesn't mean he's not a thug. That doesn't mean he's a thug. Just because he decides to wear a hoodie. That's like people saying, oh, she's pretty. Maybe if she wasn't pretty, she wouldn't get attacked or assaulted. Nah. I mean, we can't. I'm more concerned about, or with the whole R. Kelly thing. People are saying, well, she was 16. She knew she lied about Aaliyah. She was 16. She lied about her age. She knew what she was doing. Now, I'm more concerned about what that 27-year-old man was doing as opposed to this 15-year-old was doing, right? Because 15-year-olds are going to try to do that. They're going to try to test boundaries. But you 27, you need to know where the boundaries are, and you need not to cross them.
Plus, you put in a situation
I get it.
That's all I'm saying.
But at the same time, you got to make sure that your 16-year-old is equipped.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be that 27-year-old. So while you're fighting that 27-year-old, I'm going to be schooling my 16-year-old
Exactly.
to not fall into that.
Exactly. That's easier said than done. But I'm going to ask you guys a question. How many things that your parents told you one thing and you wind up doing another thing?
But still, like
They
knew when she was going to R. Kelly jump, man. I'm pretty sure they were complicit with that, man. But they supposed to be with her the whole time. Period.
The point is that the point
but
is
don't
that
blame the.
even if I did something else, my parents still told me. Like they
Yes, I'm not saying don't tell your children.
I'm
not saying don't tell your children, but all I'm saying is all three of us can probably testify to something that our parents told us at 14, and we did it anyway. Yeah. And luckily, it's
a bunch of things that my parents didn't let me do.
Yeah, that you wind up doing anyway. So that's when you need that.
Getting in trouble or getting in situations where I couldn't handle.
Well, I know for me, there were plenty of things that my grandfather told me at 14 that I shouldn't do, and I did them anyway. Luckily, me
too.
He wasn't negligent. He gave me the information, but I did it anyway. So that means if a child's going to do it anyway, that means we need to create an environment where people don't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But okay.
No, please.
But I'm just saying, you kind of set the boundaries and the parameters. Like, if I let my kid at 10, stay out till 1 o'clock in the morning, he could be staying out playing, shooting ball, doing whatever till 1 o'clock in the morning. That's his norm. So I'm not doing a good job of protecting him because he's not ready for that. But like if he's 18 years old, he want to stay out till 1 shooting ball in the yard of the neighborhood.
It's funny.
I feel like that's still an extreme, but I feel like you're better equipped at 18 than you would be at 10.
Of course. But it's funny you mention that.
You know that Aaliyah's not equipped at 14 to be in a situation with adults by herself, so you need to be with her at all times, and that would have prevented that, man. But I feel like they just was like so excited and blinded, and he probably set up situations where she would be by herself, and that's how the whole thing happened.
It's funny you mention that, staying out all night, because I stayed out. My grandfather, from the time I was old enough to sit on the porch, he told me to come in at a certain time. And there was this one time where I was about 14 years old, and I stayed out all night. Now, my grandfather told me all the way up to the point of 14, all the way up until that point, that I needed to come in at a certain time, stay on the porch and stuff like that. But there was a time that I went out on my own. And so does that make him at fault? Because he equipped me with everything. He equipped me with like, hey, but it wasn't until my 18-year-old cousin, my 20-year-old cousin came and we hung out all night. He was the older person. I was the younger person, and my grandfather told me everything I needed to do. My grandfather provided food for me. He gave me discipline, whooped my ass, and I did it anyway. It was my cousin who took advantage of the fact that I was naive. He was the adult and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
But I think that your granddad set the parameters so you wouldn't. You said that was the first time.
that was the first time.
But if your parameters were more loose, then you'd have been doing that before. That wouldn't have been your first time.
Well, I did it, but the thing is, I did it anyway.
But doing it once and then you likely did not happen.
But I don't think there's going to be anything that you're going to 100% listen.
Of course.
Well, the funny situation.
So unless
let me
we in
tell you
that
the funny
situation,
thing. Let me tell you the funny part of that. When I was 14, right, my mom would let me stay out all night. Let me explain.
she would.
Yeah. So
That's why I knew I liked your mom.
So there was
for
a
some
couple of
reason.
situations where, like, I was 14. I was pretty responsible, right? I was always a leader. I was never a follower, things like that. So I had gained a certain amount of trust. So when I used to hang with, like, y'all met Danny. So Danny's 4 years older than me.
Danny's
So
cool.
meaning when I'm 14, he was 18, and he used to go to NYU school, right?
He's a cool
So he used to
dude.
always take me down there. It'd be me, my man Ernesto, my man Roberto, my man Carlos. Like, we all would be hanging, and we'd be down there. And I'm 14, so they think I'm Dan. They used to always think I was Danny's cousin. All the people that was with the NYU. So one day it was late. We at the dorms, whatever. I called my mom. I'm like, look, we all down here. Everyone want to stay. Like, could I stay? She was like, yeah.
That's what's up.
Like, she had that trust in me that if I said I was here and I was with these guys,
Right.
first of all, she knew them, and they was the go to college guys,
Right.
straight lace, whatever. But she trusted that if I say I'm there, I'm there. If I say I'm with them, I'm with them. I came
Right.
home next
Do
day.
that,
All right,
bro.
well, be home at this time. Guess what? I was home at this
Yeah.
time. So up until that point, yeah, of course.
But you know
I
your
ain't in
kids.
front,
And
I'm
some
doing it,
people-
so she knew me, and she would let me do it. So and then I was like, all right, I can't take advantage of this,
Right.
But
it's
I know
there.
that now.
It's there.
And
Yeah.
because she said, be home by this time. I was home at that time.
You good.
She knew, all right, I could trust them.
And you came home in one piece. You wasn't
I
like,
came
oh
home
Lord,
in one
you know,
piece.
yeah.
So the next time, I didn't do it again the following weekend, but the next time it's like I could trust them. So each time, like, get home at this time,
Right.
I did enough so that she could trust that he gonna do
Oh,
what
yeah.
he's gonna
Right.
do. You know what I mean?
Because
So-
you was equipped to do that. You could
Right.
handle that.
But also, right, she knew that I could. Right, she knew that I could handle it. She knew that I had been responsible up until that point.
But
Now,
I
I
also
say I
think
ain't get in
it's-
trouble because I've been in trouble before that, with police and all that.
Right.
But from that moment, you know what I mean,
You know what
I
you was
gained
doing.
trust.
You know your kids. You know
Exactly.
your kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just honestly think that, yeah, I mean, I guess you know your kids, but I think you can do everything you can to equip them with everything, and you just have predators out there. That's it. Robert Kraft, fellas. He was formally charged with solicitation. This Bama pulled up to a strip mall next to a Winn-Dixie. You from the South? What's a Winn-Dixie mean?
A grocery store. Yeah.
This Bama pulled up. He pulled up in a chauffeur-driven car next to a Winn-Dixie to get a rub and tug joint. And he's been charged with it. And it got me to thinking how the NFL always have this standard of the players, and they have to be upstanding citizens,
Right.
and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, folks who abuse women and stuff like that, they should get punished. But some of the things that they get punished for, they shouldn't be, and it seems like they're held to a different standard than like the owners. Although nothing has happened yet to Robert Kraft. I mean, no charge. I mean, he's been charged with solicitation, but no penalty has been brought down by the NFL. But again, it seems like there's this double standard of how owners get treated and the players get treated. And I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Do you guys think there is a double standard on how the owners get treated and the players get treated?
Well, in the NFL, I don't know. Has there ever been any other like owner scandal in the NFL? I know in the NBA.
Yeah,
what was that?
Donald Sterling.
And most recently,
he wound up having to sell his team. So the NBA stands by. Well, that's why I respect the NBA though.
Right.
In the NFL, I don't know if there's ever been an owner scandal kind of like this, but I know if it was a player.
Oh yeah. But also
He'd
these
have
are
been suspended for a
billionaires
game.
too, so you ain't gonna hear stuff from billionaires.
No. I
bury
know.
that.
You know, but it's funny how you want your players to act in a certain way,
Right.
But
right. You doing the
but
same
you
thing.
doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And if it was an NFL player, by
he'd be
now
throwing the hat on his team, on the Patriots team.
he probably would have been
fining them, suspending them.
He might have
Yeah.
suspended. He might have been cut.
Right. It depending on how good he was.
Depending on how good he was.
Yeah.
Right. You talk about a 4th round pick, 5th round pick, he might be gone.
So now you can't use your morality now, man, because
That's the point. And that's
yeah.
the point. What you gonna do later? Like, all right, like you said,
You gonna
hitting a
fine me for what?
You know, hitting a woman, yeah, that's one.
That ain't as
Yeah.
bad
Right,
as
doing
that ain't as bad
But-
as sex trafficking.
You know, but you know, something like
So-
this, like what's gonna happen? I'm
Yeah.
just interested to know what
You got
what
to go. You
But
gotta go.
it's funny you mentioned hitting a woman because the Giants owner, not the New York Giants, but the Giants owner,
San Francisco.
San Francisco Giants owner, he got into a domestic violence assault with his wife. And I wonder how baseball is going to handle that because, again, you know, they are uber hard on the players. Now, as far as violence, domestic violence is concerned, they should be as hard as they need to be.
Hey, did
And
you
I'm
see
not,
the video?
I'm not minimizing. I didn't really want to see the video.
Well, the video was it.
Sorry.
I was probably I thought it was gonna be a lot more.
Right.
Just to be perfectly
Right.
honest, I think he was trying. He was
Get
trying to
something
get
from her hand.
like a phone,
Yeah.
and he was saying stop it, and she was go. So for that, I'd want to see more. Like I
Right.
don't know. Like I think
We should hold judgment.
for
Yeah.
that one, I'd want to hold judgment and see.
I
It was
did-
a lot less than what I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be. I think Kraft is a lot worse
Yeah,
right,
with
boy.
his stuff.
Right.
Um,
Right.
So I'm gonna wait. It's been
Yeah.
how many weeks? It's been 2 weeks now
About
since that happened.
2-3 weeks,
We
going on
haven't
3
really
weeks.
heard anything from the NFL owners, other
Nothing.
owners about it.
Nothing.
So this is definitely a story that we should keep talking about
Right.
just to see.
Right.
Yeah.
If this was an NFL player,
Oh, they'd have been in
And it's a
everything
prominent
every day,
franchise.
talking about it.
Yeah. It's a problem.
and the thing is, like, even if he came out and said, "I apologize," you know, like I had no idea about
You still
sex
gotta go.
trafficking, you know, and then try to raise awareness about it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't do anything.
But the privilege is,
Plead
I
not
mean,
guilty.
no one's calling him a thug. No one's calling him stupid. No one's calling him. He don't know how
I
lucky
mean,
he
cheating
got.
on his wife.
He went to the Oscars.
Yeah.
He went to the Oscars the next day.
You know
Flew
what I
out
mean?
there with Tom and was giving him and his wife a hug.
Yeah.
He definitely was cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But we look over that, man. We don't, let's not focus on that.
This is a perfect. So I'd like to see how
I-
far his
yeah.
privilege takes
I
him.
do want to see how this plays out. I definitely want to see how this plays out.
We know how it's gonna play out. He's a billionaire. Did we mention he was a billionaire?
He's a billionaire of one of the most prominent
Yeah. Name
franchises
the last billionaire
sports.
that went to jail. All right.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. 5 years since Relisha Rudd has been missing in D.C. It's been 5 years. I don't know if folks are familiar with the story. Lady, this little girl was given to, I guess, a janitor at one of the facilities in D.C.
DC shelter.
DC shelter, and the gentleman took her to a hotel, and afterwards they were just missing. I mean, she's been missing ever since. That trend. I mean, that also
That
that just reminds me of how. I mean, that case got a lot of attention. Then the attention just phased out.
Well, let me speak on something real quick.
Go ahead.
That case, it changed how in DC, like working with with lower income families.
Yes.
How we deal with the kids.
Yeah.
So now, based on that, you have to see the kids every month.
Yep. You have to.
So in DC, that change was made, which is great. I don't know how nationwide. I don't know.
DC be the standard.
Right. So that has changed based on that situation.
Yeah.
Not to say that things don't happen. But my thought when you talked about it pre-show, we was thinking about it was just like how old she was 5 years old.
I think she was.
Yeah, I think that was about the age.
Yeah, she was about 6
5,
or 8.
6.
No, 8. She was 8 years old.
It just, I just think about my kids and think about like, what if something happened to
Yes.
a little girl at like 6? Like,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And like, how can somebody do something
To
to
a kid.
kids?
Somebody that's small.
You know what I mean? I was watching some other show as I was there, and I'm changing Lincoln, and I got Valentine. And I look at them and I say, how could you do anything to, like, these
To
are
somebody.
like
You
they
feel
are
like protective
so
instinct.
like
Yeah. Where
but
does that
also,
go?
They love, like, if I had Valentina here, if you looked at her, the first thing she would do is smile at you.
Yeah, how do you get mad
How
at
do
that?
you do
Exactly.
something that like, I don't care how tired, I don't care how frustrated, I don't care how nothing you are. Like, how
Exactly.
do you do something to a
Yeah.
child?
I've heard stories about how things that they did to get their children to stop crying. I am grateful as fuck when my child cries.
They cry in my face.
Like I'm like, how can you do something to a little kid that all he's doing is trying to communicate to you what his needs are?
He be crying, and I let him cry because I know about 5 minutes later it's sleep time.
But and the funny thing is, I'm not gonna lie and act like it's all sweet, right? Sometimes your kids, like today,
Yeah.
because on Saturdays, Relis does her therapy,
Yes, Lord.
so I got
Yeah.
both kids, so we running
Yeah.
around. So today I had
But
Valentino on her lap because now she don't like to lay, she likes to be sitting up, and Lincoln. So I got Lincoln crying, I'm running her back. I got Valentina, I'm holding her, and I thought like. But there's no real place I'd rather be. Like as frustrated as
Right.
it was,
Because you're figuring it out.
like anger, like things like that
Yeah.
don't come to mind.
Because I got to
Like,
make my
how
girls
can I-
happy.
And
Right.
it's-
So
yeah.
I'm trying to do things, and then they all laugh, and then they stop, and I'm like, "Wow, I did." Like I got them laughing.
Right.
Now. Like,
and it's
that's
a
what
hell of a
about.
leap.
And then you just preach it to them for the 2 minutes that they happy together.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a hell of a leap. It's one thing to be frustrated at your child, be like, "Hey, okay." It's another thing that want to hurt them to keep them quiet.
Right. And I
That's
think,
just
like,
crazy.
I wonder how, like, in this case with Felicia Rudd, like, because they haven't found her body yet.
No, they haven't. They
Like
haven't.
that-
Dude
like
went
that
to like
type
North
of
But that's-
Carolina or
closure,
something. I
man.
think he
But
went
the
to
thing
North
about
Carolina.
that, guys, that's a recurring theme when it comes to black girls. And most recently, Amber Evans, a 28-year-old community activist.
Yes.
She was like, she worked with the Juvenile Justice Coalition. She's been missing since January.
Hear nothing.
No press,
Definitely
no
not on
nothing.
Fox.
Let it be some kid from Indiana, a white girl from Indiana.
The lady that was cutting the grasshopper.
Yes, you would get
yeah,
Tommy
those-
Lee Jones on that month. I want to check every roadhouse, in-house, outhouse,
And let me just
doghouse.
say, like, big up to Joe Madison.
Yeah.
I heard about this on the Joe Madison show on XM Radio. And the mother was on there telling the story. And it's like, just from what I heard from the story, like how the police was handling the case was like from the beginning, like totally just incompetent.
Yo.
And listening to it as John worked, it frustrated me. And then they threw out a stat that was staggering to me. They said 64,000 black girls and women right now are missing
Yeah,
in the United States.
yeah.
How many y'all heard about?
0, man.
0.
Zero.
Well, I hear a lot about it from the job, but it's not.
No, but
it's
like
not
right,
national
from your,
news.
Right. If
Right.
you like, have you heard about it on
It's
the
not
news?
on- yeah.
And I
It's not
listen
on the
to
news.
World News.
And you can do something
day.
every day. With
You
that
don't
many
get-
people, you can do something. But they'll put like a critical missing. But that's I don't know.
I hear
feel
more from my friends on Facebook than I do here.
I
I
do
hear
too.
about national
Yeah.
news.
64,000. That's
a
like
lot.
that's an epidemic.
Again,
64,000?
we live in a society where we don't value black girls
It makes you want to protect
or
yours.
women of color.
It really makes you want to protect.
And we supposed
yours.
to go to Silver Spring to go get our protection.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah,
That's happening.
Yeah.
But it.
I'm gonna have to.
I'm with that.
Because
I'm
I
with
think,
that.
also just on some crazy stuff. Sorry, but I think the
No.
purge is real. Like I think that the purge, the movies ain't too far off. I think that it's gonna something like it.
He
Can
think the
happen,
purge
man,
is
where-
real.
By
Like, I think-
2020,
but no, but look-
have your
your
Think
joint.
about
Your
the,
joint.
the government shutdown. You don't think the purge is on the verge?
The purge is on the bars.
Dog, one more month, all the people not getting paid. Somebody gonna feel it. Ain't that many loans getting given out.
So-
everybody got to eat.
We just want to put a shout out there to Amber Evans, and
Yeah, my
she
bad. I got
is
it.
a missing black girl. And we
Shout out, Amber.
again,
We want this.
We-
We want this
we
crime
want-
solved.
Yes.
We want it solved. We want her
Yeah,
found.
man.
we want
Say-
we want
If
black
something-
find our
right.
black girls.
If something happened to her, we want to know who did it, and we want
Right,
that person
P?
I'm with it.
prosecuted.
Find
with
our
it.
black girls.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. This also marks the 6th anniversary,
Seventh
7th anniversary. God, has it been 7 years?
Yeah, man.
Since Trayvon Martin has passed away.
All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess the question that we have to ask ourselves: have things really changed in the past 7 years?
No, more things are being put on the surface. We see more things now.
Yeah.
You know, they more. I think it's. I don't even know if it's transparent. We just see more because it ain't transparency. Because transparency means that I'm trying to be transparent. I feel
Right.
Like I feel like it's vicarious transparency. It ain't even like they trying to do it unintentional, not vicarious, unintentional transparency because. We see him more because of these. Everybody got the camera. It's a camera on every
Right.
corner.
Yeah. I again, has it gotten better for black men, black boys, and black men navigating this world?
Man, you know,
I've heard a few stories. I can't remember the exact person's name, and I apologize. And I'll have that information for you next podcast. But the cop that shot the gentleman in Tulsa, she just got off.
What?
Yes. The lady
What you mean?
the police officer that shot the guy in Tulsa, the unarmed motorist in Tulsa, she was acquitted.
I don't know about
She's
that
working
one. I missed that one.
She's working another job. You have to forgive me. I don't have that information.
I missed that one.
And here at Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast, we don't really like talking about stuff that we don't have information. But I think it was pertinent to what we were talking about. And I promise you, we will put the information of the Tulsa police officer that got off
on Instagram.
On
We might not
Instagram.
follow it next week.
Yeah.
We'll never
Yeah.
follow it next week. Hey, what I was going to say, what about the dude from Dallas? I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
we ain't hear nothing about the girl. Where is she at? She ain't on trial yet? Being for real, we're going to look that up. We're going to put that on Instagram, too. We don't want that story to die.
But Trayvon Martin, I mean, it's been, 7 years, Pete? I mean, 7 years late?
7 years.
Yeah, his
7
family
years.
has really. I think they have done a really good job of
Yes, they
being
have.
activists for police brutality, just for the black
They're
community
they're
as well.
staying in the public eye. So
Yeah.
like it
Bring
changes
it
from
forward.
like,
Constant reminder.
they took the moment and made it into more of a
Mm-hmm.
movement,
Yeah.
which hasn't happened. They've kept it alive for 7 years, and it's like
And that was
when I heard about it, I was listening. Like I said, it was all on the radio this week. Obviously, we
Yeah.
were talking about it. And when they started talking about it, it brought back the same feelings I had back then. Like, how
our black
did
boys
this
safe.
guy get off? Like, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? How
Right.
could someone go from how could someone be the aggressor in a situation and turn around and then say self-defense
Right.
Yeah.
at the end, and then
Right.
and that's still happening?
It's like don't follow. Don't follow. I'm following. No need for
Yeah.
that. Sir.
Yeah.
The thing I was
They
thinking
always
about,
get away with this stuff.
I have a new perspective again with having a child because before I was like, man, like, how you gonna kill my child and get away with it? But if you got another child, you got to stick around for the other child, man. Yeah. But like, cause like before then, I was thinking like, man,
I take the law into my own hands.
Yeah, man, like
So that just tell you the amount of strength that Trayvon's parents have.
Man,
Sabrina Fulton is his mom, and the strength that she has.
Ain't nothing stronger than a black woman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Point blank. Period.
Oh, I have a thing. I mean, yeah, I have a thing about that though.
Hey,
yeah,
we can argue all day about that.
It's not even an argument. It's not even an argument. I always felt that black women are allowed to feel too. We shouldn't always put that mantle of strong black woman on them because that neglect them from feeling and.
I'm saying as strong as endurance.
Yeah, but they need holidays too. They need vacations too.
Man, I ain't say they don't need vacations.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you are saying that. I just think that the trope of the strong black woman do more damage to black women than actual help because, anyway, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're reaching the end of our show.
On a depressing note.
Not on a depressing note. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, our whiskey of the month is Hudson Manhattan Whiskey. If you are going to drink, make sure you're not drinking alone. And keep your heads up. Peace.
The views on Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast do not represent any of our advertisers unless they like it.
I came across Pac Freak Nick at Atlanta. Said he just bought the album, we posed for the cameras. Then I seen the news flash. Rapper dies at 25, time flew fast. 6 months later, more shots fired. Biggie in a casket, it had to cause a riot. Seems like a week ago we was in the club, bouncing to our own shit. It was all a dream, then it turned into a nightmare. Nah, these niggas don't fight fair. Meanwhile, a nigga emerged with a style. Me and my man, last show, Amsterdam. Then I got a call saying they just hammed your man. The kid who fell was Big L. Damn, why? Used to chill with him, sat and built with him. He had the ill vision. Big Pun was the one. I couldn't believe it when they said that he was done. And I wasn't prepared for what's next to come. I saw an 80 die slow. My nigga on this path, you'll always feel a wrath. Brother for life, feels like the other half is cut off. This one can't be shrugged off, eternally affected. And less than 1 year later, my DJ on the Fader Rock Raider. We toured the globe, showing they got the flavor. It don't feel real. I can't wake up, and every time I get up, I'm back in the loop. Guru's in a coma, he might not recoup. Then he got freed to the essence, but in my mind I keep asking this one question: why I'm still here? Why I'm still here? Why I'm still here? It's to tell you the truth, inspire to have nots. Gotta dream it before you get it, don't be scared to live it. Follow your passion, energy is everlasting. My life is a movie with better casting. I'm here to show the world a phenomenon. Keep it 300, this is my Sparta song.
Fight with me, man. Be nice, man. Shit. Fuck y'all want, B. Turn my shit back. Stand right there. Say, you ready? The king is home.